Hey, shalom, shalom, mishpacha. Welcome to another edition of Ray Bash's Ramblings. I'm your host, Rabbi Yehuda ben Shamir, and today I'm going to be talking about veganism. Let me read to you from Bereshit, from Genesis, chapter 1, verse 30, and it says, "And to every beast of the earth, and to every fowl of the air, and to everything that creepeth upon the earth wherein there is life, I have given every green herb for meat." And it was so. So, in the very beginning, when God created everything, every living being, every living animal, every living thing was vegan. In other words, they were vegetarians. That's all they ate, and that's the way it was in the beginning. Why? Because meat, when you consume meat, that means death. And before the fall, there was no such thing as death. Everything kept living. But you say, well, what about plants? Wasn't there death of plants? Well, no, not necessarily, because regarding the laws of thermodynamics, energy can never be destroyed. It just morphs, it just changes. And so when the plants were being consumed, they morphed into another energy within the body of the animal, and more so than them dying. And plus, the plants that were left behind still had roots, and they grew, and they had seeds, and they produced, so it wasn't really considered death technically. So everything was vegan. You say, well, what about canine teeth? Well, take panda bears, for instance. They have canine teeth, but they don't eat meat. I mean, it's been known in rare cases where they have gotten bloodthirsty and ate meat, but they're basically a vegan animal because they use those canine teeth, those sharp fang-like teeth, to strip bamboo. And so even dinosaurs prior to the fall were vegan, and possibly the Tyrannosaurus Rex's teeth were used to strip bark off of large trees. Who knows? Maybe that's what they ate. And so there's evidence that animals were taken upon the ark, or dinosaurs were taken upon the ark. They didn't have to be the big adult kind; they were babies. And because of the climate change after the flood, the dinosaurs slowly died out. But anyway, that's another video for another time. We're basically focusing on veganism. So you had the fall, death came into the world, death came into play. Then you had the whole thing with Noah and the flood, and this is what it says in Bereshit, Genesis 9. "And God blessed Noah and his sons, and said unto them, Be fruitful and multiply, and replenish the earth. And the fear of you and the dread of you shall be upon every beast of the earth, and upon every fowl of the air, and upon all that moveth upon the earth, and upon all the fishes of the sea. In your hand they are delivered. Every moving thing that liveth shall be meat for you. Even as the green herb I have given you all things. But the flesh with the life thereof, which is the blood thereof, shall not eat." So even at the beginning, when God finally permitted mankind to consume meat, he required that it be kosher. In other words, he required that the blood be removed from the animal. And because we believe that the law is eternal, we believe that the animals he's speaking of, when it says every animal, it means in the context every animal that I have already designated as a clean animal, that is eatable, that is edible, that is consumable. And that's more clarified as we get into the law of Moshe, into the Torah, where we distinguish between what is clean and what is unclean. But anyways, that issue also is for another time. So it is assumed that after the fall, when death came into play, that the animals started consuming meat and started taking on different roles, where some of the vegan animals turned to carnivores, and then after the flood, God actually permitted mankind to eat meat. So I'm an animal rights activist. I believe in the fair and humane treatment of animals, but I don't go so far to say, oh, we can't eat meat, we can't kill any animals, and shame on you who do, you're murderers, you're barbarians, and blah 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 blah. Because kosher slaughter, when it is done properly and when it is done correctly, is the most humane way to slaughter an animal. The animal, according to the Talmud, is commanded to be comforted, to be coddled, to be dealt with gently, and that a razor-sharp blade is to be used. No nicks, no dings or anything. It's supposed to be just razor sharp, able to split a hair. The reason being is because the sharper the implement, the less the animal feels. And so with one swift foul swoop from jugular to jugular, the arteries are severed and the rush of blood flows out of the animal, so the animal doesn't have time to experience pain or fear. It passes out because of the rush of blood. It faints because of the drop in blood pressure. So it's almost as if it just drifts off. It goes to sleep. And so it is the most painless and humane way to dispatch an animal. Now, do I support veganism? Yes, I think it is a healthy diet, a healthy alternative, especially in this day and age when we don't know how our meat is slaughtered, we don't know where our meat comes from, we don't know what kind of hormones are pumped into the meat. I think, and especially with those who live in communities that do not uphold Jewish standards of kosher law, the safest way to go is veganism. That's probably the safest way to go, because you can buy organic, you could shop the perimeters of the store, you can pretty much know where your fruits and vegetables come from, you can clean them and wash them thoroughly to get rid of any bacteria that may be on them. And when veganism is done right, in other words, you supplement the vegan diet with things that have protein in it that is a substitute for meat, such as soy protein, such as various nuts, etc. And when all that is done correctly, the vegan diet is the most healthy diet. Am I a vegan? No, I still do eat meat. I'm trying to eat less and less of it, and maybe one day I'll kind of go to a vegan diet. But for right now, I have taken beef out of my diet because it's virtually impossible around here to get kosher beef. But in regards to fish and fowl that are considered clean, they are slaughtered pretty much the same way in the secular world as they are in Jewish communities. Therefore, I have no problem eating fish or chicken because the blood is not in the meat; it's taken out. It's pretty much slaughtered the same way as in Jewish communities, and so I don't have a problem with that. I just try to eat less and less of that, trying to go to a better, more healthy diet. Especially as a rabbi, traveling and speaking, I try to eat vegan while I'm out because I don't know where the meat comes from, and it's just the safest way to remain kosher, to stay kosher, to eat salads, fruit salads, and have portobello burgers or what have you, just order off the vegetarian menu. And so that's what I do. So for those who have chose a vegan lifestyle, I applaud you, kudos. Just don't down those who have chosen to eat meat, because scripturally, biblically, there's nothing wrong with eating meat. I think when lean meats are chosen and kosher meats are chosen, and the meat is definitely kosher in the way it was slaughtered and prepared, that with a balanced diet, it could be, it's healthy for you. But it's even better that if you can go vegan, because in the beginning, we were all vegans. We were meant to be vegans. We were created to be vegans. It was only after the fall that God permitted us and allowed us to eat meat. So that's the video on vegetarianism, veganism. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope it was enlightening. And thanks for watching. Shalom and Shavua Tov. Bye-bye.